Hey, my name's James Nicholson and welcome to my YouTube channel. I've got a big update on the Renters' Rights Bill. It's really getting some momentum and trying to get pushed through Parliament by Labour at the moment. So this is an update on what is happening right now. What are the stumbling blocks? What are the next stages? And so if you are a landlord, maybe you even rent a property, or I think everyone should really understand what is going on with this bill, because this is going to have a massive impact on the price of rents, the availability of properties, and much, much more. Now, if you're new around here and you haven't done already, do make sure you subscribe to the channel over there and hit that bell notification. We're on the way to 42,000 subscribers, which is absolutely mental. And let's get some more views on this video. I think this is a very important video. So smash like, tickle like, do something, do the like button, and then share the video. You can then WhatsApp it, email it, or Facebook message it to someone that should know what's going on in the market. So, the Renters' Rights Bill, it started off under the Conservatives as the Renters' Rights Bill, and it kind of got canned. And then Labour got into power, they've taken that bill on and they've renamed it the Renters' Rights Bill, but it's pretty much the same. And so some of the stuff that's in there, well, all of it is to protect renters. And that's important because there are some very bad landlords in this country and they bring down the quality of properties for a lot of renters. And some renters ultimately go through absolute hell. Now, ironically, this doesn't cover social housing providers or councils, who are also some of the worst landlords in the country. If you look in the news, nearly any day you pick up a newspaper, there's a horror story of a local council or housing association that just isn't giving quality accommodation, and people are waiting months, if not years, to get mould and stuff like that sorted. So look, something did need to be done. But the problem with this bill is it's very one-sided. Now, obviously, it's there to protect the renters, but what you're doing with this bill is ultimately making a lot of landlords leave the market, and that's already happening. So the bill, in a snapshot, a few things that are controversial in there is, firstly, landlords at the moment have something called a Section 21. That allows a landlord to give notice to any tenant at any time, very simply, and get their property back within a few months. Now, landlords like that because that gives them some certainty if they get a bad tenant. If someone doesn't pay the rent or they damage the property, it's a fairly quick way to get your property back. Now, the alternative route is something called a Section 8. That takes time because it goes through court. If you're in arrears on payments, you're unlikely to get paid any rent while it's waiting to go to court. That could take 6 or 9 months, and that could wipe out a landlord. Now, the bill proposes to abolish Section 21, the no-fault evictions, and that is the biggest fear for a lot of landlords. And so in the bill, it's looking that it would not allow you to just have no reason to get rid of a tenant. But there are some proposals in there that would allow you to get rid of someone for rental arrears and stuff like that. And the government is proposing that that will be faster and they'll speed that up and the courts will get up to speed. But there isn't really much happening to show that that is essentially going to happen. So the bill also covers things like making landlords consider having pets. There's also a landlord database that will be in there to say who's a good landlord and who's a bad landlord. You don't get that for tenants, just for landlords. And it will also have things like big penalties if landlords don't keep their properties up to scratch. Now, some of this stuff is already out there anyway, but it's going to make the process easier for tenants to get in place. So the Renters' Rights Bill was meant to have its final reading in the House this Wednesday. And on Wednesday, Angela Rayner circulated a memo requesting people to be available to stay late because they wanted to get this done. They really want to get this moving. Now, the Conservatives have come out and said, well, you're forcing this through at a much faster pace, and things are going to get missed, and it's not going to be very, very good. The Conservatives are saying that as the bill stands, is actually going to be worse for tenants because you're going to reduce the private rental market even more. And a lot of landlords are saying they will leave if this passes. So that will shrink the rental market. And you'll also then potentially increase rents because of that. And that isn't what tenants want either. Yes, they want to be looked after. No one disagrees with that. The problem is this is just being pushed through at a very, very fast rate compared to most bills, just because Labour want to do this and say, we have done what we promised, and that was to abolish no-fault evictions. So that's the problem. So at the moment, yesterday was Wednesday, they had that meeting, and it didn't get put through to the House of Lords last night. It didn't get completed. Now, the main sticking block yesterday is the landlord database. And there's potentially costs involved in landlords in getting all the information and being registered on that. And the Conservatives are saying, well, look, why are you penalising good landlords? This database potentially could penalise landlords that are following the rules, and you're increasing the costs for them. And is this even going to work properly, the software, and is it going to be a mess? Also last night, it was discussed about bringing the EPC legislation into the Renters' Rights Bill. That's a big thing, and that's another separate issue that a lot of landlords want to leave the market. They're saying that you need to get to a level EPC of C. This is the Energy Performance Certificate. And the Conservatives rightly said, why are we debating this late at night? This is such a big thing. This needs to be slowly looked at properly, because this is going to have such a big impact on the rental market, either positively or negatively. If it shrinks the rental market, then you could have problems. And so that seems to be the sticking point at the moment, that this is getting rushed. Everyone's getting forced to stay late at night. There's another hearing on this today, as in Thursday, the 15th, and that hopefully should be the last part. Now, what would happen at that stage? We would then know the real details on what the Renters' Rights Bill is going to include. So we'll do an update on that probably tomorrow or early next week, once all of that is out. It will then go to the House of Lords, and that's where the intricacies will be worked out. So the House will pass a bill, and they will say, this is what we want included in the bill. The House of Lords will then take their time and work out each bit. Now, once it gets to the House of Lords, some of these rules could get passed quickly. We've seen that with the leasehold reform. Leasehold extensions now don't have to wait 2 years. That little bit was easy and it got ticked off. Any easy parts in the Renters' Rights Bill could get passed quite quickly, even without all of it passing. So there could be certain elements of this that just happen very, very quickly. Now, when it gets to the House of Lords, what needs to happen really is that if they remove the Section 21, which is the most controversial part of all of this, that's fine. Remove it if you choose, but make sure that the courts are ready to deal with this. So landlords have a fair system. If they've got a bad tenant that's smashing up their property, that's not paying their rent, that they can get the property back through the courts faster. They can't wait 6 or 9 months. Otherwise, more landlords are just going to quit. So you need to remove something, but present with a suitable solution. So look, this is moving very, very quickly. Of all the property bills that are out there at the moment, leasehold reform happened way before this, and that isn't really moving much at the moment, and that impacts a lot of people with the right to extend your lease to 990 years, to get rid of marriage value. All those things are just really taking time, but this is moving pretty quickly. So do keep an eye on the channel over the next few days. I think we'll have some major updates on this. There's an ebook on the Renters' Rights Bill that we've made, and 1,000+ people have taken a copy of that, landlords and tenants and all such. So do click on the link below and grab that ebook and make sure you got all the details on the current proposals as they stand. Do subscribe, because you really want to know what happens next. As soon as more details are out, I'll be making a video the same day, so do check that. Do like this video, share this video, and check out all the other content as well on the channel, including this video right here.